Good morning. Good morning, dear children and all the subject teachers. I am Sasmita from Rashtriya Vidyalaya Rajgangpur. Welcome you to the virtual class, live virtual class of our district Sundargarh. So, all of you, how are you? Must be well. So let us proceed. I am going to show you something here. Here is what is this? What is this? You know, this is a gift. How do you feel when you get a gift? Very happy, very nice. Yes. So we will also we are going to read such a lesson related to such gift, and I am going to say you something about gift now. So let us proceed to the smart board. This is the picture of a birthday. Here the kid's birthday are celebrating his whole family. The grandpa, grandmas and all are there. There are cakes, gifts and all things are here. And so these gifts, they have the kids is given all these gifts by his family members. So all these gifts are, where do they get it? They get it from the shop. They get it from the shop by giving some price, giving some money for that gift. But whatever decoration the family has made, whatever the delicacies mother has made, all this love and care, can you get from shop? Must not. So for that is priceless. That love and care of a mother, that love and care of grandpa, grandmas, our family relatives, all are priceless. So we shall read a beautiful piece, The Priceless Gift, from our communicative English book. Let us proceed to the lesson. So here, the priceless gift. I went to a vegetarian restaurant. I means here the writer. The writer went to a vegetarian restaurant. Vegetarian means where food are made and served from vegetables and fruits. So like that, a restaurant, he went to a vegetarian restaurant, and it was lunch time. You must have known that during lunch time all the restaurants are very crowded. All people come to get food from there. So it is very crowded. So there are people, what were they drinking? They were eating and drinking. The restaurant was very crowded. I saw that some of the chairs and tables had been pushed into a corner. I chose the corner table, seated myself and started skimming through the newspaper. So the writer chose the corner table because he wanted a lonely place. As the restaurant was very crowded, he chose the corner table and he seated himself there and he started skimming the newspaper. Skimming and reading, the two different things. Reading means totally reading the newspaper and skimming means just going through the headlines. So he started skimming through the newspaper. At that moment I noticed a very young girl looking at me. While he was reading the newspaper, he saw a very young girl, a little girl was noticing him. Her eyes were very large and they had a sad expression. The child was very sad, and as face is the index of our nature behavior, so like that the young girl was very sad. It was known from her eyes. So the young girl was looking at the writer. As she was going out, she asked the cashier, here is the cashier, she asked the cashier in a low voice, is that gentleman Indian? She asked the cashier here, is that gentleman in India? I think so. The cashier replied, I think so. Indian heitive. The girl looked at me once more and went out. The girl looked at again the writer once more and she went out because she has finished her lunch. It surprised me. Why? What was the matter? Her interest in me aroused my curiosity in her. So if somebody is asking for you continuously and you notice that, you must be thinking, why is he asking about you? Why? What is the matter? You will think or not. So like that, the writer also thought that, what is the matter? Why she is asking about me? So what made him such interested about me? So after finishing his lunch, I asked the waiter, here the writer is asking the waiter that, do you know the girl who was sitting out there? Do you know the girl who was sitting out there? The girl was sitting at one table. So the writer pointed that table and asked the waiter, do you know her? The waiter replied, no sir, I noticed she has lunch here on Saturday. The waiter is replying that the girl takes her lunch on Saturdays only. On Saturdays only because it is the payday. Which is the payday? Saturday is the payday. On that day she gets her pay and she comes to lunch for to the restaurant. For us, she doesn't earn much. The waiter is saying she looks poor, she doesn't earn much, so on payday only she comes here for lunch. I was moved by what he said. The curiosity I felt about the girl persisted. So I was moved. The sad figure of the child, the things that waiter said about her, that moved me, that made me anxious, that made me eager to know about the child more. So I was moved by what he said. The curiosity means kautuhala, the anxiousness, eagerness to know about something I felt about the girl persisted. It persisted. It continued in my mind. That who is that girl? What is the matter? Why is she asking for me? All that made me disturbed. So why should she inquire about me? Why she inquired about me? Inquire means continuously asking about something is called inquire. बारंबार पचारिबा जानिबाकु चाहिबा is called inquire. So who was the mysterious child? Who was that strange child who was asking about me? Who was that strange child? I kept thinking of her poverty-stricken and anxious figure. So the writer thought about her poverty-stricken means दारिद्र जर्जरित बा poverty ता जो शो होता तार मुहरु से सब फिगर को से मने पकेगरी से बहुत anxious he became anxious and he thought, could I help her in any way? As he was asking about me, could I help her? If she wants some help from me, that made him disturbed. A week passed because that Saturday was past. The child had taken her lunch and she had gone away. So the writer could not meet him. The child only asked the cashier about him. So the week passed. Saturday came again. Again Saturday. The writer, throughout the week, the writer thought about that child. And he was waiting eagerly for next Saturday because on that day only the girl will come to the restaurant for lunch. So he was eagerly waiting for Saturday. So the week passed. Saturday came again. I went to the same restaurant. As I entered, I saw her sitting at the same table. So the same restaurant, the writer again went, and there he saw that the child was there. She was sitting at the same table, on which table she was sitting in the last week. And what was she doing? She was sitting. I went up to her and took the chair opposite her. So writer went there. He took the chair opposite that girl. I wished her good afternoon. Whenever we meet somebody, we wish him good afternoon, good morning, likewise like the time or namaste in our Indian culture. So like that, the writer wished her good afternoon, and then by making one brief remark after another, I was able to start a conversation. Conversation means कथावार्ता, कथोपकथन, का संगे कथावार्ता हेबा आगरु आमे ताकु टे कमेंट करिबा कोन खाद्य केमती हिची ताकु टे इज करिबा लागि ताकु टे इजी करिबा लागि ताकु आम संगे मिसिबा लागि ताकु टे आमे कथावार्ता हेबा. So that was brief remark he made about the child, about the food, about the restaurant, whatever, and then he was able to start conversation. At last the girl asked the writer, "Are you in India?" The girl asked the writer, "Are you in India? Are you from India?" As whoever lives in India is an Indian. Whoever lives in Russia is a Russian. Whoever lives in China is a Chinese. So from his feature, from the writer's feature, she might have known that he was an Indian. He guessed her. So to confirm whether she is right or not, she asked the writer, "Are you an Indian?" "My brother is in India. He is a soldier. We have not had a letter from him for a long time. My mother is very worried." So whenever the child was saying, she was thinking about her brother, who was a soldier, and he was posted in India. He was posted in India. And the matter is, we had not means the child had not any letter from him for a long time. For a long time, his brother has not sent them any letter. They have not any news about him. So that made him very sad and anxious. My mother is also very worried. She has mother in her family, and her mother is also very worried. She is afraid of something has happened to him. Whenever we get a time gap to message from anybody, whenever your mobile rings for 4 times and you don't pick up, your mother gets anxious. What happened to my child? So like that, they have not got a message from him for a long time. So obviously they must be worried. So like that, the mother was worried and the child was also very worried. So say my mother, she means here the child's mother is afraid something has happened to him. That made them disturbed. So I learned that her only guardian was her brother. She lived with her old widowed mother, Mrs. Betty. So I means the writer here learned that after that conversation, the writer came to know that her only guardian was her brother, who was a soldier posted in India. Now, who was a soldier and he was posted in India, he was the only guardian of the girl. So I learned that her only guardian was her brother. She lived with her old widowed mother, Mrs. Betty. And here in that place, the girl was living with her mother. Her mother's name was Mrs. Betty. I understood how she felt. I think she wanted me to see her mother, but she didn't have the courage to ask me to accompany her home. We finished our lunch and got up together. As we walked, I asked her, "May I know your name?" So I understood. So the writer, after the long conversation, the writer know that what she would felt. से ताऊ केमती लागुथबो ता भाई तो किछि पाई नै से मैसेज एपटे घरे माँ विडो और शी इज आल्सो ओल्ड एंड ता मनस्थिति कोन थिबो राइटर कुड अंडरस्टैंड I understood what she felt. I think she wanted to see her mother, but she didn't have the courage to ask me to accompany her home. So how can a person invite a stranger to home all and sudden? So the girl in her unconsciousness wanted the writer to see her mother. ता माँ को भेटा करंतु guardian writer ता संगे कथा होंतु से चाहूतिला, but she could not openly say that to the writer because writer was a stranger for him. Though he was an Indian, she was attracted to know about his brother from the writer. Still, the writer was a stranger for the little girl. ता पाई ଗୋଟେ ଅଜନବୀ ଥିଲେ ତା ଲାଗି ଜଣେ ଅଚିହ୍ନା ଲୋକ ଥିଲେ. So କେମିତି ଜଣକୁ କହିଦବ ଯେ ତାହେଲେ ଆମ ଘରକୁ ଆମ ମାକୁ ଭେଟ କରିବ. So that hesitation was inside the child. So we finished our lunch and got up together. As we walked, I asked her, "May I know your name?" Here, give attention. May I know your name? This is the most polite way to ask anyone's name. What is your name? This is the harsh one. So whenever we ask politely, that is, may I know your name? ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ନାମ ଜାଣିପାରେ କି? That is the most polite way to ask anyone's name. So the writer politely asked the child that may I know your name? The name of the child was now Maggie. The name of the child was Maggie. We chatted pleasantly and soon reached a bus stand. They presented the writer and the girl. Look, they are going, and they soon reached a bus stand. They pleasantly chatted. Chatted means chat करू सकते हैं, कथा करता है, chatted, and soon they reached a bus stand. This gave me the opportunity to asking her where she worked. While they were walking to the bus stand, they had the time. They had to chat something. कौन कथा है? So on the way to bus stand, the writer asked the girl where she was working. कोठी से काम करूची, कौन काम करूची, कोठी काम करूची. The writer asked the girl. Do you usually go this way? I asked. I means here, the writer. He asked the girl, do you usually go this way? Usually means habitually, always. Always तुम यही रास्ता से जाओगे? The writer asked the girl. No, she answered. I usually take the village bridge. It is being repaired at that moment. I usually take the village bridge. She goes to her home through the village bridge, but now it is getting repaired, so she is not going through that way. She is taking the another way to the bus stand. Soon we approached the neighborhood. The approach means प्रवेश करिबा, पहुंचिबा, जिबा. Soon we approached their neighborhood. We had reached a narrow doorway. You must have seen the slum areas, झुग्गी झोपड़ी एरिया, जोटे कि छोट छोट नेरो नेरो गली थाए, सरू सरू गली थाए, छोट छोट घर सब थाए, सेमिता गोटे जगह से माने पहुंचिले. Soon they approached a narrow way. Maggie took a thin latch key out of her pocket and opened the door. Latch means lock. Latch means lock. घर lock थिला. She took out a latch key from her pocket and opened the door. She entered and said, "Please come in." She entered into the house and said, the writer, "Please come in." She invited the writer to come into her house. Together we descended the stair to the kitchen, and their kitchen was downstairs. So they entered and they descended. Descend means olaiba. Descend means talku jiba ba olaiba. The opposite of descend is ascent. Opposite of descend is ascent. So together we descended the stairs to the kitchen. Mother, said Maggie from the doorway, an Indian gentleman has come to see you. Mother, the somewhat a happiness came into Maggie's mind that she could get information from about her brother. जेहेतु से जन इंडियन लोक को पाई कि ना कि इनफर्मेशन मिल जाए सब मन गोटे खुशी अच्छी तो से खुशीटा कथा भी बाहरी आसूची सो सी eagerly called her mother. Mother, said Maggie from the doorway, an Indian gentleman has come to see you. An Indian gentleman is there to come to see you. Where is he? The old woman asked eagerly. The old woman came out from the kitchen and where is he? He asked Maggie. With a smile, I stepped into the kitchen behind Maggie. Behind Maggie, the writer also stepped into the kitchen. She introduced us. She means here Maggie introduced us. Whom? Mrs. Betty and the writer. How do you do? I said and held out my hand. I said and held out my hand. In Western culture, they shake hand whenever they meet for first time. We do namaskar, but they shake their hand. So, to shake hand, the writer hold out his hand and asked, how do you do? Apan kemti asanti? Se pacharile. Who asked? The writer asked to whom? Mrs. Betty, Maggie's mother. Excuse me, my hands are covered with flour. I am making cakes. So Mrs. Betty said, yeah, Mrs. Betty, she was making cakes. Mrs. Betty was making cakes. So whenever we do something in kitchen, our hands get dirty. So can we shake hand with another? No. So she said, excuse me, my hands are covered with flour. Flour mane atta. Atta ra maida jotre cake bananti. I am making cakes. Mrs. Betty said that she was making cakes. People will come to buy them this evening. She said that people will come here to buy this evening. A evening re, a rati re, aji rati re, aji sandhya re, people will come and buy these cakes. This is the way we make our living, lots of trouble. So she said, this is the way, from this, so by making cakes and selling these cakes, we make our livings. We get our livelihood, we get money by selling and making cakes. So lots of trouble. How much can they earn by selling and making cakes, you know? So this is lots of trouble to run a family. Their son is in abroad, in India. He is a soldier. They are not getting any news from him. And again, they have also facing lots of trouble due to financial crisis because their earning is too low. Saturday night is a time of festivity. Saturday night is a time of festivity in poor neighborhoods. All kinds of things are sold on this night. So Mrs. Betty said that Saturday night is a time of festivity in poor neighborhood. Saturday night is the time of festivity. Here is a scene of the market where people are buying and selling different things. So likewise, we have our festivity on Saturdays and most probably on Thursday. So here Saturday night is a matter of festivity of that poor neighborhood. Wherever they were residing, this is the poor families are residing there, and on Saturday's night, as it is the payday, they have some money to spend, and on that day, whatever they want, they buy from the market. So that is the time of festivity for them. So bazar gala bele ame kemti jao khushi khushi jao dekhithibo kete bhido heitanti kete sundar dress posaka pindiki jay something, and that is like a festival for them, a celebration for them. The streets are more crowded than any other day. She said that the streets are more crowded than any other day. बाकी दिन अपेक्षा street गुड़ा का कौन हुए सेदिन बेसी crowded था. आमर हाट जो दिन था देखिथिबे मार्केट जो दिन था देखिथिबो सब माने जे सेदिन आमर रास्ता घाट टिके बेसी crowded था. तो सेमिति Saturday night to Saturday evening रे तांकर भी रास्ता घाट बहुत crowded था. This is the day when they are able to spend a little from their weekly wages. On this day, they spend some of their weekly wages. जो हफ्ता को जो दरमा पाई थांते तार किछि सेमाने spend करंते. So this much I will learn on this first part of the story. So let us proceed. Now we summarize. So at first what happened? Maggie at first saw the writer where? At the restaurant on Saturday and inquired the cashier if he was an Indian. से कैशियर को पचारला कि नाही इंडिया की नाही हाच कोटी देखील असे रेस्टॉरंट देखील कैशियर को पचारला Maggie's poverty-stricken face made the writer worried. He thought if she needs any help, writer से वही सारा से सोई पारी नांती तांको डिस्टर्ब लागी ची से झियर काले की ची हेल्प दरकार की next Saturday the writer met Maggie at the same place. She anxiously described about her brother who was a soldier and how her mother and she herself are worried as they have no news of him. So Maggie ର worriedness था describe ହେଲା next Saturday रे जेतेबेले से माने रेस्टोरेंट रे मीट कले राइटर जेतेबेले Maggie को आउथरे मीट कले रेस्टोरेंट रे next Saturday she explained that how about her brother who was in India and they had no news about him for a long time. And lastly in this part 1 of the priceless gift, lastly the writer met Maggie's mother who was making cakes for their livelihood and she described the writer about the Saturday night. This much summarize. If you want, you can take it down in your paper. And this is the glossary. It is also in your book. You can see that from your book. And let us test ourselves. How much we know. So I am asking some questions. You answer it. The writer chose the corner table because it was a lucky place for him. The restaurant was overcrowded. He liked the corner table very much. The restaurant was a lonely place. Which one is correct? Say, Mangaspuram, Manikeswari, Tumlia. Which one? Which one? The restaurant was overcrowded. Second, this made the writer surprised. The girls inquiring, looking at him. The girls' visit to restaurant. The waiter's attitude towards him. The girls' choice for food. Which one? The girls inquiring, looking at him made the writer surprised. Very good. The waiter told the author that the girl comes to the restaurant on this Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Saturday. On which day the girl comes to the restaurant? On
Saturday.
Very good. Thank you. Very good. 4. This was the payday.
Saturday. D.
Very good.
D.
Number 5. The girl wanted to know this, whether the writer was an Indian, whether her brother was alive, about the author, whether the writer would come to her home. No. Any other?
Option A.
Very good.
Option
Thank
A.
you. Yes, whether the writer was an Indian. Number 6. The author came to know that Maggie's only guardian was his death. Brother, father, mother, sister. Who was his only guardian?
Brother.
Very good. Thank you.
A.
Very good. Number 7. Who welcomed the writer in Maggie's home? Maggie's auntie, author's relatives, Maggie's cousin, Maggie's mother.
Maggie's mother. Option D.
Very good. Thank you. Number 8. Maggie's mother was worried because she had not any letter from her son a long time. Her son was returning home. Her son had been killed. Maggie's mother.
Option A. She had not had any letter from her son.
Very good.
From a
Thank
long
you.
time.
Very good. Number 9. Who was Mrs. Bethy? Maggie's auntie, author's relatives, Maggie's cousin, Maggie's mother.
Maggie's mother. Option
Very
D.
good. Number 10. This is the time of festivity in Maggie's neighborhood. Sunday night, Saturday night, Monday night, Friday.
Saturday night.
Very good. 11. Maggie and her mother earn their living by day, working in field, making cakes and selling them, selling vegetables, running a restaurant.
Option C. Option C.
Very good. Very good. 12. Maggie's brother was in dash. A. America, B. India, C. London, D. New Delhi.
Option
India.
India.
Thank you.
India.
Very good. Very good. Maggie's brother was a dash. Doctor, soldier, teacher, writer.
Option C, soldier.
Very
Option
good.
C.
Okay. Number 14. Who was Frankie? Maggie's sister, Arthur's friend, Maggie's brother, the cashier.
Maggie's brother. Option C. Maggie's
Okay,
brother.
thank you. The opposite word of descent is transcend, ascend, depend, intent.
C. Option C.
Very
Option
good.
C.
Very good. So, I am giving you some homework. You So, your homework is write about a gift which gave you much pleasure than anything else. So, this is your homework, and now I conclude my session. How did you get the period? Did you learn or not? Did you understand or not? Try to convey me. मत कहवा लगी चेष्टा करिबो जदि किछि असुविधा अछि ताले मते जणैबो भाबुची समस्ते बहुत आनंद एनकरेज हेतिबो मजारे बुझी पारिथिबो बोली आशा करे थैंक यू